Police Minister Bheki Cele is to present the quarterly crime statistics reflecting crime that occurred from the 1st of January to the end of March 2021. The stats will show the crime levels during the time when the country was under lockdown level 3 and adjusted level due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's take you live to that.
Secretary of Police, Rupia, the acting head of the DPCI, General Mosikiti, senior officers, heads of entities, media, ladies and gentlemen. Today I wish to start by highlighting a crisis that is unfolding and has the potential to threaten the country's peace and stability. The death of the South African police members at the hands of callous, heartless and brazen criminals should come to an end. In the first 3 months of this year, 24 police were killed. 11 of them were killed on duty while preventing, combating or solving a crime. Some were attacked or ambushed while conducting patrols and their official firearms stolen. National crime statistics we are releasing today reflects crime reported to the South African Police Service from the 1st January to the end of March 2021. The decrease is many of the crime categories would not have been achieved without the dedication, determination and hard work of the men and women in blue. So, it cannot be normal that police officers who each day go out there to protect and to serve are killed and the public remains unshaken and silent. There is no public outrage, no outcry from activists and NGOs, and no one is demanding justice for these police officers. So, if we are to win this fight against crime, such criminal acts against police can't be ignored but be addressed at community level and by all of us. From these figures of the last quarter of 2021, it is becoming increasingly clear that addressing some of policing shortcomings is paying off. We have made gains in categories of crime that were previously very stubborn. I believe the call to put the shoulder to the wheel was heeded by many of our officers in blue. This is evidenced by an overall decline of 8.5% in conduct crimes such as GBH, sexual offences, common assault and robbery robbery with aggravating circumstances. The only 2 crimes in this category that recorded an increase are murder and attempted murder, recording 8.4% and 8.7% increase respectively. 4,976 people were killed in the first 3 months of 2021. This is 387 more people killed compared to the corresponding period in the previous financial year. The Mpumalanga province recorded the same number of murders as in the corresponding period in the previous financial year. The Mpumalanga province is joined by Limpopo, Free State and Northern Cape in recording some form of decrease in their murder cases. However, it is concerning that the Eastern Cape and the KwaZulu-Natal provinces recorded double-digit increases, standing at 21.5% and 16.9% respectively. Unfortunately, 1,327 people died in the places of residence of either the victim or the perpetrator, including the homes of family, friends and neighbors. In some instances, these people could have had some kind of domestic relationship. From a sample of 4,911 murders, a total of 2,378 people were killed in public places like streets, open fields, recreational parks, beaches, and abandoned buildings. The top 4 causative factors of these murders still remain arguments, robberies, both residential and non-residential, and street robberies mob justice, and gang-related incidents. The sexual violence meted against women in this country is simple, shameful. Similarly, men and children are not spared. While there has been a decline in sexual offences cases, which is 9,518 people were raped between January and March 2021. This has been a little bit of stabilization, and 387 cases were reported, amounting to a 4% decrease compared to the previous supporting period. A sample of 6,893 of the rape incidents revealed that 4,130 of such incidents took place at the home of the victim or the home of the alleged rapist, which means those people might have known to each other. The Eastern Cape Lusikisiki Police Station recorded the highest incidence of rape, overtaking the Inanda Station, which has sadly held this #1 position for some years. Gender-based violence remains a priority crime for us in the SABC. The fight against this menace in the Eastern Cape province was dealt a heavy blow last week. 4 officers on their way back from conducting crime prevention duties and GBV awareness campaign were killed in a head-off collision just outside Ngcobo. We put our condolences to Constable Lungelo Nongala, Frank Lila, Bukakawuli Nyembezi, and Secretary Tomgai Selandu were shining examples of Batupele principles in the police service. We're mentioning these names because they were big in dealing with the campaign against the gender-based violence. Young of them, the oldest of them was 37, and the youngest was 30. So these were young people heavily dedicated in dealing with the gender-based violence. Hence, we are saluting them. Let us honor these fallen members by eradicating secondary discrimination of victims of GBV and vow to protect every woman and children at their time of need. When it comes to GBV and H, there is no room for complacency. Those sleeping on the job must get their act together or ship out. Station commanders, I urge you to act decisively against substandard service at the station. Our figures of sexual offences are beginning to show that we are stabilizing in this area. However, this does not mean we should drop our guards. We remain encouraged that rapists can be brought to book through the availability and access to the rape kits at all police stations. Moreover, DNA recovery plan is in place to progressively clear the DNA backlog experience at the SABC Forensic Science Laboratories. The nation is assured that we are working around the clock to clear the backlog, and GBVH cases are being prioritized. The delays have been severe, we admit, but 42% of dockets for crime committed against women and children that have been outstanding for over a year have now been finalized, especially police working with the NPA and the prosecution to fast-track these outstanding cases. The SABC is also hiring more forensic analysts to work through backlog in our labs. There's been a commitment to tighten the SABC contract management system and ensure contracts are renewed on time. To ensure the future, we avoid a repeat. To ensure that in future we avoid the repeat of these bottlenecks, and early warning systems to detect and anomalies is being developed. Most importantly, eliminating corrupt practices that once plagued the forensic division of the SABC is non-negotiable. On farmer tax, in the first 3 months of 2021, 11 were killed in 10 incidents of murder, which occurred in farms and small holdings. 4 of those murdered were farm dwellers, 4 were farmers or farm owners, 2 of these victims were farm employees, while 1 was a night guard at the farm workshop. In this reporting period, there's been some decline in property and livestock crimes. Property-related crimes decreased by 20.8%. Stock theft also took a dive, recording 11.1% decline. Unfortunately, sheep, poultry, and cattle, they've become top victims of these crimes. And I've seen that some pigs and donkeys, they've been also stolen. Burglary at the residential and non-residential premises declined drastically by double digits. Theft of vehicle and motorcycle and theft of out of motor vehicles also recorded double-digit decline. We owe this to the proactive and preventative policing strategy, which realized through, amongst other things, increased police visibility. The prevalence of violence in our communities is growing to unacceptable proportions. While all cases of assault have decreased by over 9%, there were still over 75,000 cases of common assaults of GBH opened with the police between January and March 2021 this year. In 2,855 incidents of assault GBH, it was confirmed that alcohol was consumed either by the victim or the perpetrator or both. 2,047 incidents of assault GBH took place at either a bar, a nightclub, a tavern, or a shipping. This does not exclude alcohol being present in parks, beaches, and other places of entertainment. The Gauteng and Western Cape provinces recorded the highest assault cases. 16,528 incidents of assaults, both common and grievous bodily harm, were domestic related, which means the victim and perpetrator knew one another. Commissioner will have to work on alcohol abuse, which is an abortion around the necks of the nation. For us in SABC and certainly for the communities we serve, will have to work on this sketch. Again, communities can no longer afford to stand aside and look. They have to be part of the crime solution by saying no to alcohol abuse. Some communities have more taverns as compared to any other establishment in their area of residence, including churches and schools combined. We have one community here that has got about 52 schools. It's here in Gauteng, 52 schools, 6 clinics, 38 churches, 92 spaza shops, but they've got 331 shippings and 11 bottle stores. So you can't expect a social stability in that community that is oversupplied by this alcohol. Aggravated robberies such as car hijacking increased by almost 5%. Car hijacking took place mostly in formal and non-formal residence in the country's township, followed by suburbs in urban areas. Cars of choice for criminals are sedans and hatchbacks, followed by panel vans and bakkies. There were 372 more residential robberies reported in the current reporting period compared to the corresponding period in the previous financial year. 2.8% more robberies at the non-residential places such as business, churches and schools took place during this reporting period. Police must step up their efforts in clamping down on truck hijackings, which recorded a double-digit % increase. 354 trucks or courier vans were targeted for their cargo, which is usually food, appliances, and other price goods. In the last national crime statistic release, I didn't mince my words when I called on the police to urgently get their act together in addressing the high incidence of cash in transit. While police officers still have their hands full when it comes to the preventing of this crime, while police officers still have their hands full when it comes to this crime, preventing this crime, they certainly have started to change their responses against these thugs who risk their lives and our lives and the life of the community members for their selfish gains. I recently paid a hospital visit to Sergeant and Click Skippers, a Cape Town police officer who was shot and injured during a CIT in Stellenbosch. It is through quick thinking of bravery of officers like Skippers and his team that resulted in criminals being arrested and left empty-handed. In the same scene, high-caliber firearms and high-powered vehicles were confiscated. In the first 3 months of this year, cash in transit has decreased by 10.6%. In conclusion, yes, we are making strides in many provinces that are reporting decline in various crimes categories, including murder. And we are equally aware that there are some provinces regressing on the gains they previously made in the creation of safer communities. It is encouraging to see the emergence of some stability, but also there are areas that we must still address through shifting of resources. There were less assaults, sexual crimes, theft and burglaries in the first 3 months of this year compared to the previous period of reporting. We will continue to work hard to maintain that trend. As part of the South African Police Service turnaround plan, operational oversight interventions in the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal have already started. Hundreds of additional forces have been deployed from national to these provinces to assist in crime-fighting initiatives. Our focus will also turn to the Free State and Mpumalanga for implementation of the similar interventions. More police boots and functional police patrol vehicles will always work as National Commissioner oversees these operations. Improving and cultivating the partnership between the police and the communities is more important now than ever. To all police officers of this country, if we can maintain and improve these latest crime figures, we will turn tide against crime. We cannot afford to give criminals to terrorize communities any room to breathe. It is clear they will stop at nothing to get their way, including presently attacking you as you do your job. As if that is not enough, you are also faced with the enemy COVID-19 that has claimed the lives of 608 police officers. Let this not deter you from your work, Mapoisa. Stay focused and continue to render a selfless service to the nation. There is a room for improvement, and don't drop your guard now. You remain assets to us in the SABC and to the rest of South Africa. With those words, let me then hand over to Major General Skokoni, who will give the raw figures of these crime stats of the last quarter of the last 3 months. Thanks very much.
Good morning, Minister, DM, National Commissioner, Deputy National Commissioners, members of the media, and the public in general. Today we will be presenting the quarter 4 and the final quarter of the 2020-2021 crime stats. As is the norm, we will first go to the table that we cover the 17 community reported crimes in a summarized version. Then after we have presented the statistics, they will then be loaded onto the SABC website, whereby a comprehensive presentation will be found there, and also the top 30 stations by the various categories from 17 community reported contact crimes, etc. So for now, they are not yet being loaded. Just be patient. They will be on the website as soon as we are done with the briefing. That being said, the 17 community reported crimes that we have reported or had been reported to the police in the current quarter, the contact crimes, we have recorded an increase of 387 murders. We have